Hi there. Fun fact, I just recorded this whole video and realized my microphone was not on. So there was no sound and I had to start all over. So good news is you're getting to see me do a video that I've already practiced without even trying it. But I thought I would just do something a little bit different today. A lot of my videos, if you've seen them on my channel, you'll notice that they are pretty heavily edited. There's a lot of cutting out of the uhs and the ums and throwing in a little special effects and stuff like that. And the reason I do that is completely intentional. Financial concepts are kind of boring and we all have lots of stuff going on. So I try to make them fun and keep them engaging. And that's really the purpose of what I do. But I realized in doing that, you don't really have a full sense of who I am and what I'm like just communicating without an edited video. So I thought I would just do kind of a raw video of just me talking with no major edits. In fact, no edits at all, just to show you who I am and what I'm like as a person. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna glance over at this screen for notes sometimes. If you see me looking away, it's not because I'm being rude. I'm just trying to remind myself what I'm gonna say, like I'm doing now. So yeah, I thought what I would do today is tell you a little bit about myself, just give you a little bit about my background, and tell you about our business. When I say my financial planning business is owned 50-50 with myself and my wife. So tell you about that, tell you about us a little bit, and give you some hopefully fun facts about me. At least I think they're fun. And just some personal philosophies that I have about money and about our business in general. So yeah, my background. So I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. I'm from a small town called Lidditz, which is in Lancaster County. And so grew up there, went to Warwick High School, graduated in 2005, and then I went to Penn State, where I changed majors a grand total of probably about 5 times. And my degree, despite being a financial planner, ironically, is not in finance, not in financial planning, not in financial advising. It's actually in marketing. And what I like to tell people is that I was a finance major because I was. And I found the classes and the material super dry and uninteresting, like the concepts of corporate finance, balance sheets, valuing stocks. I was just like, what is all that? Like, I don't care about this. Does anybody care about this? How do I use this? So I switched from finance. I was actually an English major. Then I switched to marketing because I wanted something that I thought would be actually useful and practical. No offense to any English majors because I love to write, but switched to marketing. And then of course I graduated in 2010 and the financial crisis happened. So marketing jobs were not exactly abundant at that time. So I ended up going and working in banking, and retail banking was a good foot in the door for financial advising. Really, there was not a lot of upward trajectory unless you wanted to become like a branch manager, and there were no financial advisor roles. So I decided to become a financial advisor. And really, at that time, it did boil down to I didn't have anything to lose. I had student loan payments I had to make, and I was just like, let me give this a try. I'm used to working on the retail side and interacting with bank customers, so maybe there's something to this. And I had talked to the branch financial advisor who would come in sometimes, and he told me a little bit about the business, and it just seemed like a good gig to give a try. So gave it a try, got my career started with a life insurance company, actually. And the very first thing I learned about all the way back in 2011 at about age 23, 24, was about annuities. So if you're wondering, if you follow my channel, you may have noticed I've made a couple of videos about annuities, including one probably way too complex, detailed one about how to find fees and things like that. Something that most people are honestly probably not going to do. But there was one comment on it where the guy said he couldn't imagine how long it took me to figure that out. Well, I essentially have learned it over the course of about 14 years. So I have that advantage. But annuities were the first thing I learned about because they are for retirement income. And baby boomers were just starting to retire. And so retirement income was a natural part of the conversation. And that's how I learned about annuities. And that's how I feel like a pretty decent amount about annuities today. So, but anyway, so that's my background and how I got started in this business. I met my wife in 2017 at a networking event through a local young professionals organization. And at the time, she was a financial advisor at a different firm. And so I just met her that morning for coffee. And then later that afternoon, actually, I don't know why I decided to be so forward that day. I just gave her a call and said, hey, we should have more coffee sometime. So we went out for coffee later that week. And then a couple of days after that, we went on our first date. And essentially since then, it's been a whirlwind business slash financial slash personal relationship that's brought us together. She came over to my firm later that year. We were under a larger umbrella of an organization. We got married in 2019 in Colorado, or I'm sorry, I proposed to her in Colorado. We got married in Pennsylvania. I just had Colorado on the brain there. But we decided in 2022 that we were going to split off from that larger organization. And so now it's just the two of us. We are 50-50 partners in this business, small business here that's totally independent with no larger umbrella organization that we have to answer to. So, and one thing I like to, we don't advertise this heavily, but she actually has a separate business that she does money coaching and budget coaching. And so the backstory to that and why that's a separate business is kind of a long one. But the last firm we were with, to keep it short and sweet, didn't allow her to specifically do that under the umbrella of financial advising. So for regulatory and legal purposes, she started a separate entity. And once we split off in 2022, like now that business could be part of our main business, but now it has its own clientele, its own branding. So we're just keeping that separately. And but essentially that business, it's super important. It's for people who maybe aren't quite ready for the concept of retirement or other complex financial planning. It's really for people who are having trouble with their relationship with money. They kind of feel like it's a necessary evil rather than a tool to help them out. They are probably in a position where they are spending more every month than what they're bringing home, and they can't understand why. They can't stop that credit card bill from going up. So that's why she has a separate business, and I'm glad she does, because there are a lot of people who really do need that help. But she also helps people who maybe aren't necessarily behind and just want help building a budget for the first time ever. She's a very passionate budgeter, so that's one of the main offerings of her business as well. So other fun facts about me is I like to run. I ran cross country in high school, and that's when I first fell in love with running. Then I ran it my freshman year of college, Division III. I've never been super fast, and I kind of did it on and off all throughout my 20s and my early 30s. But about 3 years ago at age 35, I picked it back up again, and I started getting into further distances than I'd ever run in high school or college. 5 miles used to be a long run for me. Now I've run probably, I don't even know, more than half a dozen half marathons, 4 marathons, one 50K. And whenever I say 50K, people ask, how long is a 50K? It's 31 miles. Although this specific one I ran was 32 miles. And what's an extra mile, right? And so I'm super passionate about running. So if you're wondering why I make videos about running on my channel in addition to financial topics, I'm passionate about both. And I also thought that maybe my videos could potentially reach some people in the running community who also need some financial help. I don't know. I'm just kind of still a newer channel here, so I'm kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And what else can I say? So we have cats. We are a cat household. We have 3 cats. One of our cats, unfortunately, our older one, who's super sweet, just got diagnosed with dental disease. So she had dental surgery, and she had to have 4 teeth removed, and she also she was in diabetic remission, but has diabetes again, so now we have to give her insulin shots. And unfortunately, she's also in renal failure, which means kidneys are going, which that happened to a previous cat of ours. So it's really sad, but so she's on a special diet now. She seems to be doing well, but we are just big cat people, and we take care of them like our own because we don't have kids. I'm not a huge sports person, not to supernatural pivot there, right? But not a huge sports person, but I love the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Phillies, and Penn State football. One wife is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but she is even less into sports than me. So if she's watching the Pittsburgh Steelers, she's rooting for them, but she's probably only watching them because I put them on TV, not because she put them on herself. So just some philosophies about money. I really think that everybody deserves the dignity of housing, food, and just having their basic living essentials met. I just think it's wrong in this country that we, with such vast financial resources, so many people struggle financially and are in poverty when we could fix the problem completely. So I just think that's a travesty. But beyond that, I feel like people who have saved well and diligently and do the hard work for their money, I feel like they deserve to live life on their terms to the best extent possible. And so what our hope here at our firm is to teach them how to use their money as a tool and position it properly to help them live the financial life that they have worked so hard for, a life of financial independence, and show them how that's possible and help them avoid mistakes along the way to help them get there more quickly and with more confidence. So that's our goal. We just want to show them how to use money as a tool to live their best financial life. And I mentioned this in a different video, but we always like to start with a retirement plan, even if you're not coming to us with the purpose of retirement. You might come to us and say, Scott, my main goal is, and this actually recently happened, so this is a great example. Scott, I demand you sell me life insurance, or I demand you help me open up this investment account. And these are all great things. You know, we can do a basic 10 times income. That's how much life insurance death benefit you should have. And we can go shop for a term insurance policy. And for investments, sure, like you want to open up an investment account and we can have you fill out a 10 to 12 question risk tolerance questionnaire and have a basic conversation, get that money invested for you. But are we really doing the best job possible for you? I believe that's an okay way to do things, but I think it's better if we truly know you. And when we go through our retirement planning process, what it really is about is truly getting to know you, not just from a number standpoint, but from a goal standpoint, a belief standpoint, a personality standpoint, so that when we make recommendations, they're more meaningful for you. You know, it's possible that an IRA is an okay destination for your money, but what if a Roth IRA is really the better destination? What if it's the best destination? So when we go through our retirement planning process, our recommendations are more meaningful, and I wrote that in a note. It helps us properly dispense financial advice in the best way possible. So that's why we always like to start with a retirement plan, even if you don't feel like you're thinking about retirement right now, even if you just want to check this one thing off your list, even if you've already done a retirement plan before at a different firm, even if you don't feel like you need it, because it's just our process of really financially getting to know you. Yeah, so that's really it. I just wanted to show you a video of like who I am without a lot of heavy editing. So hopefully this showed you that, and hopefully you appreciated that. And if you didn't, then well, I guess you didn't. But I guess just closing up the video, do you have any questions for me? Anything I can answer? Please feel free to ask in the comments. And is there any content you would like to see produced? You want to see me make it? Maybe there's a financial concept you don't understand, or you saw it somewhere else and they did a terrible job explaining it. I would love your suggestions on that. Happy to make a video on it. And I will also drop a link in the description for you to schedule a consultation with us. That sounds scary and that's my one sales pitch for the day, but consultation is just the technical term for how we always start. Just a conversation. My wife and I were both there. There is no pressure. We don't really even get into a lot of financial details. It's just a basic conversation about what you want to accomplish. We really only touch on financial details if you want to. Like clients might tell us our income or their investment values, but we don't really even ask for it. Just kind of a general conversation about like, are we a good fit? And we don't pressure you. In fact, we insist on not having you make a decision there and then. And we're not going to pester you and call you 100 times, frankly, because we email more than we phone call anyway. But so if you'd like to schedule that with us, hopefully I just sold you on it really well. Schedule that. Click the calendar link in our description and go ahead and do that. And in exchange for an hour of your time, maybe you get some really good value out of it. But that is it. That's all I got for you today. So thank you for watching. Thanks for your time. And I hope to see you in the next video.